Hello, hello. Hey, folks. How's everybody doing? I know it's tough out there right now. Sentiment is at all-time lows in the crypto space right now, but I hope people are keeping their head above water at least. Yeah, it's been pretty brutal. Like I said, I've said many times, I've been in the space since 2016, full-time since 2017. So what is that, like 8, 9 years now? And I've never seen sentiment this bad before. So yeah, pretty brutal. Um, Despite that, though, we have like if you compare if you compare fundamentals, I talked about this a little bit on Monday, so apologize for those tuning in twice here. But um, if you compare fundamentals though to 2017, like we're absolutely like 100x 1000x higher than we were in 2017 as a crypto market. Like it were like so much more adoption, um, so many more professional people in the space, professional projects building in the space. But so yeah, it's incredible if you compare it to back then. But like just the sentiment right now on crypto Twitter, especially, it's just absolutely brutal. I think a lot of it has to do with this whole Clarity Act thing. This has been I don't know how long they've been trying to pass the Clarity Act now, since I don't know, like 18 months, something like that. This has been pushing forward, and to be this close to the finish line and having like just like maybe a few votes short, it's just super demoralizing. I get that. But well, let me pull this up here. So this is the absolute latest on the Clarity Act right now. So Senator Loomis is actually on Fox News right now. I believe she's talking live. This is one of the latest clips. She's saying basically, if this bill dies, the Democrats are going to have to kill it. We are going to vote on it, so it can't die by no votes. And if it dies, it's going to be because the Democrats kill it. I think this is like a fair way to put it, because there's just like so much like last minute BS coming out right now. Like Anthony Scaramucci, he put this out, or like tweeted about this. So the Wall Street, like basically the big banks right now, the big banking sector, led by our hero Elizabeth Warren. I say that ironically. Is just like busting out like every single thing that they have in their chamber right now. So like the Wall Street Journal just put out this like editorial piece around how the crypto clarity bill is like basically like doesn't do anything that it says it's going to do, and it's just like full of like false narratives, like a bunch of stuff that is just completely not true. Luckily, Miles here from the from A16Z, he basically went through the whole like Wall Street Journal piece and fact checked the whole thing, and it's just riddled with just bullshit. So yeah, I don't know, at least we have a lot of people like fighting for this industry still. And like Loomis said here, this is going to come down to the wire. And I think there's just I still personally believe, like, even though the sentiment is so bad, and like the odds on Polymarket right now are like at, let me check, like 16%. Although I have a theory about this also, but just to finish my point, I think that there's just still just too much at stake. I think like basically they have to get this, like, I can't remember what it's called, like clout vote or something in today. And if it does pass today, then this is going to go to the Senate floor on Friday. So I still think that this is going to go to the Senate floor on Friday. And then there's just going to be so much attention on the Senate on Friday. It's going to be a big event where everyone's going to be paying attention. And yeah, like Loomis said, like if this dies, it's going to be because specific Democrats are voting against it. And if they're going to like shoot something down that has been like 18 months of like hard, like bipartisan work. There's been compromises, a lot of compromises on both sides. And if they're going to shoot it down, they're going to have to put their names on record. And once their names are on record at voting against this stuff, I really, really hope, if this doesn't end up passing, that people will get out and like vote in the midterm elections here and try to get rid of like these horrible senators that clearly do not have the citizens' best interest at heart here. Because I don't know, it's clearly the people want this, and these senators who are supposed to represent the people in Congress just like clearly don't have the people's best interest at heart. They clearly have the best interests of the bank lobby, who is behind like this Wall Street Journal op-ed piece, and like behind just like a lot of the money that got these senators, especially Democratic senators, into office, was like this bank lobby, and they're just clearly protecting the bank. It's just very obvious. So let's see what happens. I still have the personal opinion that 16% odds here on Polymarket are not properly represented. I at this point I would put it closer to like 50-50. It's like it's a coin toss at this point if it hits the Senate, because I know that a lot of Democrats are not going to want to put their name on record saying that they voted against this. I think it's going to be a pretty bad look in the elections. I hope a lot of them realize this. And so if it does get to a vote on Friday, I think it's a coin flip. I think it still has a shot at passing. I think just my market's opinion here on these Polymarket odds. So a lot of people, Polymarket is like mainly a crypto-based audience, and a lot of these crypto people have a lot of like they're already net long crypto. So you could really say that like if, for example, if I'm someone who's like extremely net long crypto, which I am, a good way to hedge that would be like to actually short this Clarity Act Polymarket. Because you're already net long crypto, so like it actually makes sense to sell this short, like, and like to buy no here, essentially saying that no, it's not going to happen as a hedge against in case like worst case scenario this doesn't pass. So I think a lot of people are actually doing that, using this as a hedge because they're already net long. So I think that's why the odds are at 16%, where I think personally it should be closer to like 50-50. Anyways, just a theory. Markets are a weird voting mechanism, and you just never know with these things. But like a lot of these instruments just get used as hedges and don't actually represent the actual odds. Anyways, that's my thoughts on Clarity right now. But yeah, a lot of stuff going on in the markets right now. So Michael Saylor sold another $100 million worth of Bitcoin, just as we were talking about how there's been, he finally kind of cleared the air. He's got like $4 billion worth of USD reserves, easily enough to get through the rest of this bear market and make it to another bull market. He doesn't need to be selling more Bitcoin at this point. I'm not sure what he's doing. All he's doing is introducing more uncertainty back into his whole strategy. So I think that was a really dumb move. I think that I honestly, I don't know what he's thinking. He's made a lot of very questionable moves. This one also just got announced today that Strategy is going to contribute $250 annually to Trump accounts. So for those that don't know what these Trump accounts are, they were set up to give every single child that is born into the U.S. Basically a stockbroker account, and different companies can contribute to these. So that, like, I think Trump accounts are a great idea. I don't understand why Strategy is contributing dollars to this, though. If anything, they should be contributing Bitcoin or something to like get into the hands, because like these accounts are basically like you can't access them for like 18 years or something like that. So basically, like whatever you put into these are just holders, like 18-year long-term holders. So this would be a great place to like put some Bitcoin and get more people exposed to Bitcoin, because like all they're going to do is see their Trump account like app on their phone every single day, and they can see this stuff going up over time. It's super, like, I think Trump accounts are just a great idea to get more people involved in capitalism and more people involved in just the benefits of capitalism overall. But I don't understand why he's committing like $250 a year annually to each eligible child. That could end up being like a lot of money. That could end up being billions of dollars contributed to this. So I, yeah, I mean, hopefully there's still a lot more details that he has to put out around this, but like, I don't know, that could end up being a smart move if it's like actual stock or Bitcoin. Then it's like basically unsellable, which is nice. But like if you're selling Bitcoin or selling stock or diluting other like shareholders in order to do this, yeah, that's not so great. Anyways, yeah, in the overall stock market though is like back up. The S&P 500 is at all-time highs again. The Dow Jones at all-time highs again. NASDAQ, which is like the tech index, is like very close to all-time highs already. Also, the only thing that's like, this is also another thing that's very much driving bad sentiment in crypto right now, is that like the TradFi markets are just like doing well, and crypto is just like stuck in this hole right now, which just very much sucks. So that definitely very much affects sentiment. So I get it. I'm right there with you guys, but I'm still very optimistic about the future. So yeah, I mean, the only way to look at this from my perspective is, yeah, crypto's in a bad place right now, but it's just a matter of time before attention comes back to crypto. And like in this new AI era, markets move on attention, and we're in like an attention era, and wherever the attention goes, like the liquidity and the capital is going to flow very fast. And I think just like we're going to have just a bunch of like different sectors that just go into like bubble crash, and like it's just a matter of time before this attention comes back to crypto, and there's another like huge bubble in crypto. So yeah, I don't know, if you look at it from that perspective, yes, the crypto sentiment's at like all-time lows, and pricing is like not great. But like from that perspective, like you can't be buying in at better prices. So yeah, I continue to dollar cost average into the space here. I'm hyper bull long term, optimistic about like where this is all going. So I don't know if you're like me, like not financial advice, but dollar cost averaging in at these prices is just a blessing. Yeah, so there's a lot of things like other stuff, just a lot of like negative news also, which I want to get into a little bit, but like I do want to paint it with this kind of overall macro brush that like, yeah, like again, things are not looking the best right now, but this is a blessing if you're in it for the long term, because yeah, it's only like, yeah, it's only like as a sector, it's only up from here. Like we're at $2 trillion sector right now, whereas the overall like net worth of the world is like 700 trillion or something like that. So yeah, there's like, in my opinion, there's zero chance that that number, like the overall crypto market cap, doesn't go from like 2 trillion up to like 100 trillion one day. We have a lot of upside here. So yeah, let's see where this all goes, but I'm super optimistic. Like a big debate that's happening in the Ethereum space right now is, and one reason why Ethereum is kind of contracting again at this moment, is this whole debate over this new EIP that just got introduced by, I believe this guy, yeah, I think he's an Ethereum core contributor. So like maybe even works for the foundation, but yeah, it was like with other people from the foundation, like, and Justin Drake. I don't understand this at all. For those that don't know, basically it's they introduced this new EIP that basically caps the amount that can be staked of ETH at like 50% of supply. So basically, if it goes over 50% of the supply of ETH gets staked, then the issuance, like the the interest that it pays to stakers, like the reward to stakers, gets cut to 0% at 50% ETH supply, which is just like pretty brutal. Like it's not a good EIP in my personal opinion. All it does is promote like centralization of staking, which is not great. Like you want staking to be decentralized. You want like hobby stakers to contribute also, because it decentralizes the entire network. The stakers are the ones that like verify the network and like do consensus for the network, and like make this network that is incredibly decentralized. And something like this will only centralize things more, and like basically like promotes centralization of Ethereum in my kind of take of what's happening here. And I know a lot of people agree with this take, like Mike here from EtherFi, who's a big builder on top of Ethereum, also like Stani from Aave, and like others from like Lido, and like basically like the whole DeFi community is pretty upset by this, and thinks it's a terrible idea, and agrees with this take that it really centralizes everything and does not promote decentralization of Ethereum. I don't think it's a good move. However, on the bright side here, I think this is I agree with John here. So like Michael, who's tweeting that he used to be a big ETH bull, and he's like very bearish on this EIP also, and doesn't like Ethereum because of the leadership. But I would say like that's a pretty mid-curve take. A better take here is that like, hey, this is a good test of governance and the test of decentralization. Like just like anyone's free to submit an EIP, even though it's like backed by the Ethereum Foundation or people from the Ethereum Foundation, does not necessarily mean that it's going to pass. There's a lot of people who own Ethereum that are the majority of people that own Ethereum are not part of the Ethereum Foundation, or it's kind of legs or whatever. So yeah, this is a good test of Ethereum's decentralization, and like let's see if this EIP actually passes and gets into production or onto mainnet. This is a good test, and I don't think it will. I think there's a lot of people, especially the whole DeFi community, and anyone that cares about decentralization of Ethereum, that would be against this. So I doubt that this makes it through, but this is going to be a very good test. So yeah, it's going to be fun to watch. I'll keep you guys posted on what happens here. But yeah, hopefully this EIP does not go through, in my opinion, because yeah, like one of the main selling propositions of Ethereum is that it is the most global decentralized network that TradFi is now building on top of, that tons of builders are building on top of, that anyone can join. It's permissionless and it never goes down, and it's decentralized. So like we should not be doing anything that makes it less decentralized. So yeah, anyways, that's my take on that. In other news, Uniswap has been making some questionable moves, in my opinion. I wanted to share this. So today, just to kind of take things back here first. So Uniswap came out with this launches tab, which basically was an aggregator for all launch pads on top of Robinhood Chain. So Robinhood Chain, as everybody knows, is getting pretty good traction, especially with meme coins, a little bit with RWAs, and RWAs tied to meme coins and stuff like that. So it's been getting pretty good traction, pretty good start for a new like layer 2 network built on top of Ethereum. Good to see other entrants into the space. But yeah, like Uniswap, so basically they launched this kind of launchpad aggregator, which like has Banker and Long and Pawns and all these different launchpads that are popular on top of Robinhood Chain right now. They aggregate this all together and show you all the launches that are happening, and then they announce that they're actually going to be launching their own launchpad, basically cannibalizing every single launchpad that they were just aggregating. They're now going to knock them out of business, basically, if successful. So I believe this is launching today, or maybe it has already launched, but yeah, it's launching today. Yeah, it's basically a brand new launchpad that's basically going to in my opinion, knock all these other launch pads that they were just helping to promote out of business. So that's a little bit of a questionable move on their part. They've been like doing a few questionable moves. They also did the whole fee switch, which has been getting a lot of debate on X. Which Hayden, who's the founder of Uniswap, tried to like clear up a lot of this misunderstanding. But I don't know, like I don't agree with a lot of his points here. Anyways, I understand the perspective. Like I understand the a lot of their decisions have been very, very reactive. For example, they launched the Uni token. Basically, like for those that don't know, it was basically as a reaction to Sushi Swap, which came and vampire attacked all their liquidity. I think back in 2020, liquidity, and tried to do like different like rewards mechanisms, stuff like that, to steal all of Uniswap's liquidity. So because Sushi Swap had a token and they could do all these reward mechanisms, Uniswap like kind of reactively launched the Uni token, and now they're kind of reactively launching this fee switch also, which turns on fees, which adds an extra fee onto all their LP pools, basically, which goes back to Uni holders, which they kind of had to do because they needed to provide like some sort of value back to the Uni token, or else what's the point of the Uni token, right? So they needed to do some sort of like mechanism there that brings value back to the token. But like, I don't know. I'm not a big fan of that whole mechanism. I think AeroSwap does a much, Aerodrome does like a much better mechanism for this, where 100% of like the revenues, it's more similar to like a Hyperliquid model, where 100% of the revenues go back to token holders in like in a relative way, like back to LPs who vote, can also vote like where this liquidity goes and stuff like that. Essentially, it's just like 100%. I think there's just an overall better mechanism, and I think this is why Aerodrome has been getting like so much market share, especially on base. They're actually the top market share on base, like way above Uniswap now. They own 4 of the top 10 pools. I think I was looking at the latest, it's even like 6 of the top 10 pools now on base. Oh yeah, this is across all chains. On base specifically, they own 6 of the top 10 pools, and across all chains, they own 4 of the top 10 pools now. So yeah, Aerodrome has been doing just an incredible job, like come up as a competitor to Uniswap. And they also like talked about like how they have no intention of launching their own launchpad because they don't want to cannibalize all these other launchpads that could build on top of Aerodrome, like pools, for example. So I don't know. Uniswap has been doing like a few questionable moves that I don't personally agree with. But whatever happens, like competition breeds improvement, and this is like the main thing that I really want to see go up. And we need to get more people off. This is the DEX to SEX spot trade volume ratio. So like basically what this shows is like how much market share DEXs are taking compared to SEXs. So I don't want to like bash Uniswap completely. Like they are like the godfathers basically of like AMMs, and like bringing like a lot of this liquidity on chain. And so like props to Uniswap for being kind of like the godfathers or the founders of like bringing a lot of this liquidity on chain and like introducing a new model that that brings a lot more like capital and liquidity and TVL and all this stuff on chain. So yeah, props to Uniswap for that. But yeah, I think competition is great. I think Aerodrome is like an incredible competitor, and they're working hard and very focused on like the markets that they're very good at. I think their strategy has been very, very good, and so I'm a big Aerodrome fan. I think that they're going to continue to take more market share, especially if Uniswap continues to make questionable moves like they've made. But yeah, regardless, like all I want to see is like whether it's Uniswap Aerodrome, whoever, like let's just bring more capital on chain, more of this stuff into the DeFi world. I think this is the ultimate thing that we want. We want to grow the pie bigger. So yeah, I'm a fan of just bringing more people on chain and increasing personal liberty and personal freedoms and giving more people the chance to like just be in control of their futures and be in control of their funds and not have like governments and these centralized authorities like be able to like freeze your funds and take your funds away from you if they don't like what you're doing or what you're saying. And that's what I'm all about, is just like, yeah, personal liberty, personal freedom. So, and I think that's what crypto has to offer. I think that's what like transacting on chain has to offer. So yeah, let's just bring more people on chain and get this dex to sex ratio higher. So grow the pie for everybody. In other news, what else was happening? That's been interesting. Well, while we're on the subject, I noticed that Base actually, they put this post out here. So they introduced this new Base Verify on chain. I think I tweeted about this, but I don't think I've talked about this on the live stream yet. So for those that aren't aware, they kind of introduced this new like on-chain Sybil resistance mechanism. And I'm speculating, I tweeted about this, that one of the reasons they could have introduced this new mechanism is because they probably developed it for their own like Base network token and a potential airdrop that's coming from that. So I thought this was very, very interesting and could signal that the Base token and the Base token airdrop could be a lot closer than everybody kind of thinks. And my buddy here, DGen Wolf, shout out DGen Wolf. Like, I think that he makes a good point here, and I completely agree with the sentiment that the best time for Base to do this airdrop and to release this network token would be when sentiment is at all-time lows, when the markets are at like for most projects are at all-time lows. Uniswap actually also did their airdrop, I believe, at like pretty near market lows, like during the 2019 or early 2020 like bottom end of the last bull market before we went into a full-fledged bull market again. They like Uniswap did it at near all-time lows. I think it's just like I think Hyperledger also did their initial airdrop near lows, like for like overall crypto like sentiment and like market lows. It's just the best time to release a new token is when things are at the lows, because yeah, maybe you don't get like the highest market cap, but you get like long-term holders that are like getting in, or potential long-term holders that are coming in at these like very low prices. And then once the bull market does return, now you've got like a bunch of long-term holders in profit who are like going to be way more loyal because of it. So all this does is build loyalty, builds a good long-term base. And so yeah, I couldn't be more like bullish on Base in general. But yeah, if they are watching this, or if anyone from the team, I know a few of them follow me, so if anyone is watching this, like I couldn't advise more to like drop the Base network token during the bear market. It's the best time to do it. You're going to be like, it's maybe you're not going to get the best like market valuation at the start, but who cares? Like long term, it's going to be up only, and you're going to build so much loyalty and so many long-term holders who just like love Base because of this. Yeah, it's the best time to do an airdrop and release network token, in my opinion. So yeah, lots going on in the space. I don't want to like leave things off on a negative note, but like there's also been like a lot of I don't know if anyone's seen, if I can find it here, but I want to talk a little bit about like self-custody also, because this is such an important like part of transacting on chain and being able to like have custody of your own coins is it's just like such a hard thing to do, and we need to solve this because yeah, for those that haven't seen, like this cold card hardware wallet got hacked, and I think like the latest estimates have been that like over hundreds of millions of dollars now of Bitcoin was stolen. um, and like the devastating thing, like Autism Capital pointed out here, the devastating thing about this was that like a lot of these cold card holders, like people that self custody, it's all Bitcoin, but like we're all part of this crypto sphere, and so it's important that we get this self custody right, because like a lot of these were like OG Bitcoin holders, who were like thought they were doing the right thing by self custodying, and like not your keys, not your crypto, is like a very popular term, but like we really have to get self custody right, because and like the honest truth is that like a vast majority of people should not be custodying their own crypto at this point. We just don't have the best solutions in place just yet for this. And as a space, like we really need to come together and get this right. Like I know there are a lot of new hardware wallets that are coming out with like you can do like key sharding, and I'm still a strong believer uh, in like social recovery, and there's unfortunately like no wallets really doing social recovery anymore, but I thought that was a really cool concept. For those that don't know, like Vitalik put out this post in 2021 about like why we need wide adoption of social recovery wallets, and it's been tried a few times now. Unfortunately, it hasn't like worked out. um, I don't think that they got the mechanisms like exactly just right, but I do think that there's still a lot of value in trying to find the right solution for self custody. But we have to get to a place where like it's just as easy to self custody as it is to like deposit your money into a bank and not think about it. Um, that's the only way that we're going to truly get like the crypto ethos of like people custodying their own coins and like being their own bank, because I do still believe that this is the future, but we need to try more mechanisms and like get it right. And I still think that there's a few different things we can try out in the design space, like social recovery, getting that right with a few different tweaks, or like these like sharded wallets where you keep pieces of them in different locations, stuff like that. But and I think there's a way to do this, like where like you can have like trusted custodians. It's almost like a multi-sig wallet in the end. Anyways, there's a few different things that I think people should try, and I think that a lot of the reason why a lot of this stuff didn't work or hasn't worked yet is just because of like the brutal like situation that we went through with this like past like governments and like going against crypto and like scaring people into like really innovating and trying different things, and then also just like brutal hacks in the space, because we haven't gotten like a lot of this stuff right yet, unfortunately, and that's been scaring a lot of people away from self custody. So I don't know, I hope we can get some big brain people in here to like really find the right technical solutions. With AI now, I think that we can figure it out. AI is like a lot of these new models, like yes, they have the ability to hack protocols, and but like these are all like protocols and hardware wallets and stuff like this that were designed like pre AI era. So now if we can design them with the same tools that are being used to hack these systems, we can actually use the same intelligence to actually build more intelligent system that can't be hacked by these intelligent systems. I think we can get it right. So I've said it and I'll say it again. Like we're going through a little bit of a bumpy period now with all this like intelligence that's just like coming out like faster than ever. But we need to, once we get through this bumpy period and we start using these same tools to like actually build instead of just hack, I think we can develop really future-proof products that can bring a lot more people on chain. And I still believe the future is on chain and self custody, but we have to make it like dead simple and super secure in order for people to trust it. And for it to build up that Lindy effect over time. So yeah. Anyways, long story short, I'm still hyper optimistic on the space. Like I said, a lot of people bearish right now because of the overall sentiment, but there's a lot to look forward to. And if you are optimistic like I am about the future of the space, especially how it like comes together with AI, like AI does not scale without crypto. It's going to need crypto as the financial rails to scale, because like AI agents are not going to, like, AI is not going to be like walking into a bank and opening up a bank account and getting a passport and an ID in order to like verify itself. Like all this stuff is going to be done online, on chain. It's everything in AI scales through crypto rails. So these two technologies are going to be interchangeable and like obfuscated together. And like most people won't even realize that they're using crypto rails in the back end when they're interacting with their AI in the future. So we're going through some like bumpy roads or whatever, but in the end, I'm super bullish crypto, super bullish AI. They're all going to come together. It's going to be one technology. And if you have the same belief, then yeah, I mean, this couldn't be a better time to like pay attention, get into the space, start building stuff, start dollar cost averaging into long term projects that you believe in. Couldn't get better prices than you're getting now. So yeah, anyways, that's my spiel for today. Got more guests coming on soon. Lots of stuff to look forward to. So yeah, stay safe out there, and we'll see what happens. I think this whole clarity thing is going to happen. Vote on Friday probably, so that's going to be the main event. Maybe I'll live stream during that event, and we'll watch it live together. So yeah, we'll see you probably on Friday. Cheers, folks.